For me, the Filipinos are the substitute for the non-existing German generation, which we actually don't have. We are kulang. We don't have so much young people. We need not only nurses, we need people in the hotel industry, we need people in the car industry, we need welders. We need Filipinos for every kind of branch.
For this episode, we have Filipino-German healthcare recruiter Gerald Arndt with us, who's telling us more about his company, Transcura Nurses.
Hi.
Hey Gerald, well, thanks for being our guest today.
Yeah, hi.
So you've been recruiting Filipino nursing staff to Germany.
Yes.
How did the idea for Transcura Nurses come about?
I started with nurses 5 years ago. We were in the social medias on Facebook. Many friends were nurses and they asked me how to do this kind of process in Germany, to get hired in Germany, about direct hiring. It was not really forbidden to get hired. I started to learn this business more and more. 2 years ago, I opened up Transcura.
Oh, okay, but you also mentioned before that even before you would not only help Filipinos in the Philippines, but also Filipinos who actually live here?
Yeah, sure. I'm half Filipino, half German, and many Filipinos are working already in Germany. They work in Altenheimer, they work in hospitals. And of course, in all those years, they asked me what to do. They were not satisfied with this company or this salary, or many things happened. And of course, companies asked me also to work for them together to recruit Filipino nurses. And then one day I opened up my own company.
Okay, that's so great. But what did you actually do before you started this company?
I organized parties in German cities.
Oh my God. What a cool transition actually from like hosting events and parties to like being involved in
I was born already with the word network when I was born.
Okay, that's so cool. But can you also walk me through the process of, let's say, someone from the Philippines wants to actually work here? How does the process from being able to work here in Germany?
Most of the Philippine people, they want to be a nurse because it's the fastest way to get abroad. They want to support their families. It's a better life. Actually, many Filipino families support their children to be a nurse. Once they are a nurse, a Bachelor of Nurse in the Philippines, then we come also into the business. We teach them German. We bring them to a German online school. We paid. There is no utang loob, or it's utang free.
Utang free.
It's utang free, and there's no binding contracts. We don't bind our nurses on that. Once they are here, we guarantee the best jobs for them. And that's our aim.
Do you actually think that nurses in, let's say, the Philippines are maybe, because I mean, you have to go and study, right? You have to go to college to be a nurse.
Yeah, 4 years in the average.
Because here in Germany, you don't really necessarily have to go to college. So do you think there's a difference between the things they know, their abilities, the skills, or the same?
The Philippine nurses know more about the nursing skills than the Germans, but it's not directly a disadvantage or advantage. It has everywhere advantages and disadvantages. Of course. Well, the German nurses are more known that they are also working physically, a lot more physically than in the Philippines. And that's sometimes a disadvantage for Filipino nurses because they're a little bit smaller. But in general, we are in need of Filipino nurses or other nurses from other countries.
And why do you think like being a nurse is so like popular in the Philippines? I feel like a lot of Filipinos are like nurses.
Honestly, really honestly, because it's the fastest way to get with a good feeling out of the country. It's the fastest way to help their families. And that's the truth, that's totoo. Alam mo yun.
Alam mo yun. And what do you think, because like Filipino nurses are even well known globally, what do you think makes them stand out globally? Well,
Filipinos are very known that they are very empathic. They have big families, they take care of their sisters, of the brothers, of the grandfather. It's a big family and they know how to get along with humans. People.
So they're probably like caring.
Is that the right word?
Yeah, nurturing, maybe family-oriented.
My English is not so good.
No, don't worry. Kaya mo yan.
Okay.
Do you know how to speak Tagalog?
Konti lang.
Oh, see? Oh, meron mo lang. Oh. But do you also think that one advantage we Filipinos have is just the fact that we speak English, maybe? So it's easier for us to
perfect.
adjust?
The language from the Filipino nurses, mostly it's perfect. They can work with the English language everywhere, like in England, in Canada, America, New Zealand, Australia, and so on and so on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you help the nurses, once they arrive here in Germany, adjust to like German life?
What I experience is when they are in the Philippines and they want to go to Germany, they have to look for a very good Filipino POA licensed agency. There's a lot. It starts with the companies where they work, also not only with my clients. Many other Filipino nurses who work in other companies, they ask me what to do because they don't get along with the German employees, with their co-workers. There are many problems what they have, but mostly many employers don't know about the problems from the Filipino nurses because they're not really communicating.
Oh.
Not all, but many.
Okay. Maybe because I can imagine that us Filipinos were a bit shy, so we're like too shy to actually confront them.
But this is what I want to tell the Filipinos. Being shy in Germany is not an option.
I know, it's so
It's
true.
not. It's really not an option, being shy in Germany. Really not.
And what are like other obstacles Filipino nurses had to encounter here? Like maybe the language?
It's still the language.
Okay.
Even if you learn B2 in the Philippines, even if you have the certificate B2, it's not enough. It's kulang. Even if you are allowed to start with B2, with the German Urkunde, which you're going to get also in Germany after the Kenntnisprüfung or Anpassungslehrgang, they still have to learn German. Okay. It's so important. It's actually the magic key for having a better life and a better work. So you don't feel always discriminated, because once you have the confidence and the German language, then you can strike back or talk back better. Don't be shy. That's all.
So true. It's actually a really, really good tip.
Yeah. It's actually the whole universal key. Not being shy, learning the language. That's all.
Let's say someone is homesick, right?
Homesick,
what tip or advice would you want to give them? Because
yeah, that's also a big problem.
The struggle.
It's a big topic under the nurses. Big problem, especially now in times of COVID. There were some cases they really had to go home. There was one case of a nurse, the mother died and the grandmother almost on the same time.
Due to COVID?
Not COVID, it was another sickness.
Okay.
But it was the COVID time, so he wanted to go back and it was very hard. He couldn't go to the Philippines on the first COVID year. Sure, he had to go back. Then you have to talk with the employers, so you have to make him understand that they have to go home. Some don't understand. Yeah, because of course they have to work and they have a patient. It was in a one-to-one supply, 1:1 Versorgung.
Oh, okay, I get it. But if, let's say, someone is really homesick, and then what advice would you want to give them?
Hang in there, because you have the chance to make something really big in Germany. Because the German country, the German people want actually that you would live or should live here forever.